Hello YouTube, it's Geordie Geek here with a performance review of the Nike VaporMax. As you can tell by my sweaty forehead and my steamed up glasses, I have just been for a 4-mile run in my Nike VaporMaxes, and while it's all fresh in my head, I'm just going to stick my tea in the oven and quickly show you what's good and what's bad about these Nike VaporMaxes on the foot. Quickly though, as you can see, this is in Square Vision because I'm using the new Apple Clips app. And this is why I'm getting this automatic subtitles. But see, Square Vision, there we go. So let's have a look at these shoes. So you've seen these before on foot. They're in my other review. You can see they are pretty cool on the foot. I've worn them now 3 times while running, and I've worn them several times just while out casually. They are definitely a performance shoe. They work best when you're running. They look cool when you're not running, but they really work best when you're running. And I'll explain why. So let's have a look at this one up close. As I mentioned before, there are 3 parts to the shoe. You've got the Flyknit upper, you have a sort of fake stiff midsole here, and then you've got the bubble sole. And when you're running in these, there's a couple of things you need to bear in mind. So the first is this is quite a tight upper. It's much tighter, say, than the Flyknit. The Flyknit's okay, and it's good to run in. It's really cool to walk in, but these are much tighter, and this makes a lot more sense when you're running. When you're not running, they're quite tight on the foot, and you can feel it as you're walking around. But when you're running, that tightness serves a purpose, and that's to keep the foot nice and tight inside that shoe because there is no midsole. Like I said, you've got this fake midsole here, and that really is what's supporting the foot. Now what I found is, for the first 2 miles, this part of the foot here hurts quite a bit. And it's really because the foot is getting used to running without a midsole. And you're working these muscles around this part of the foot much more than you would do normally. You can probably see it better on this shoe here. But this part of the foot really gets a bit sore until about the 2-mile part, and then it's fine. For the laces themselves, which you can see here, they've got a nice flat side to them so that when you tie them up they don't come loose. They're quite long and they flap around a fair bit, but actually I've never had them come loose yet, although I've checked them a couple of times because they flap around so much you feel like they could be coming loose, but they're not. So really good laces. Obviously you've got the, I don't know what it's called again, these fly wire or something that pulls it in nice and tight on the foot. Let's have a look at the base. So the base is really cool. I think there's some things that are not so good about it, and I think the things that are not so good about it is these gaps, because if you don't run on a perfectly flat surface, these gaps do cause a bit of an issue. So any potholes, any uneven surfaces in the path that you're running on, then you really do feel it. But what I will say is when you're running on the totally flat or even slight downhill, they're excellent. All of these little nodules that you can see on the air bubbles are absolutely perfectly placed to exactly where they need to be to do what they need to do, which is to help you really run better. The other thing I noticed is, and I'm pretty sure, although I may be wrong, but the performance gets better as you run further. And I the only theory I've got is that the air inside these bubbles warms up as you're pounding on them, and that really gives you a better performance. So really interesting concept. If that's true, I'd be really cool, and it really does feel as you get into, say, the 3rd mile that these have activated a little bit more. Really cool. So that is a super duper fast Square Vision review, performance review of the Nike VaporMaxes. I can see by the subtitles which are coming up, it's absolutely terrible with my very slight Geordie accent. So there you go. Well done, Apple. I'm sure if I had a very plummy southern accent, it would work very well. Let's try that. So, hello. I'm now going to do a review of the Nike VaporMax. Yeah, that seems to work. I think it's probably also tuned for an Southern Californian accent, which we don't have here in the UK. So anyway, very quick review. Hope you enjoyed that. Great running shoe on foot. Takes a couple of miles to get into it, as I've said in various other reviews, but after that first couple of miles and on the flat, This is a superb running shoe, and it's a performance shoe, no doubt about it. This is not a fashion shoe, although most people are going to wear it for fashion, but performance is what it's built for, running is what it's designed for, and it works very, very well. Geordie Geek, over and out.